Hey guys, Mr. Derry here. I am in Virtual Trebuchet. You're going to go here by clicking this link in Canvas, and this is going to be the first part of our exam before we go outside and actually shoot some golf balls. We're going to figure out theoretically where they are going to go. So we're going to go into the Virtual Trebuchet simulator, and we're going to set up all of these values, but I'm not going to give you the answers. You're going to pull the answers off of your CAD drawing. All right, this is going to be part of the exam. So first thing you need to do is set your units to inches, and then we need to make sure we understand what these things are. So the length of the short arm is in blue. That's this guy right here. And that's really not the whole length of the arm. It's the distance to where the weight is right here. So if we're looking at our CAD drawing of our trebuchet, what we're really measuring is this guy right here. How far is it from here to here? Now you can pull that measurement right in here in your CAD drawing. You can just go to annotation, get a smart dimension. You can click from here to here. You want to make sure, click from there to there. You want to make sure that that's not the correct dimension. You got to get the dimension to line up this way. You can also go on your sheets. This student isn't done yet, and you could pull the distance from here to here, right? And that would know the length of your short arm. The length of the long arm would be from there to the end where your nail is. Okay, so you'd have to pull that dimension to get these correct. This is going to be part of the exam. Again, the pivot point to the end of the arm is the length of the long arm. The pivot point to where the weight attaches is the length of the short arm. All right, so you're going to figure out what those are. I'm just going to estimate. Maybe that's something like 4.5 inches. Maybe that's something like, I don't know, 15 inches. I'm throwing in, again, these values are not correct. The length of the sling, that is something you're going to have to estimate. We talked about what it should be and what it is. Actually, this number, that's a pretty high guess. I'm going to go a little lower. So, you know, some people might have the sling be a little longer than the long arm. The length of the weight is going to be 0 because our weight is going to attach right to the end of the short arm. The height of the pivot is very important. Again, you could pull that off of your CAD drawing, right? You could come into this first sheet and just measure from here with your smart dimension. You could go from here to here. Or you could go on your sheet, and you probably already have that dimension. This is the vertical spar. You could take this number, subtract that number, or you could come in here with the dimension tool again and just click from here to here and come up with what your value is. All right, so you should be able to get these, and this is again going to be part of your quiz, is that you get all of these correct. I'm going to throw a height of the pivot, and I know this is wrong. I'm going to throw it in at 9 inches. One note that I gave you in Canvas here is the short arm cannot exceed the pivot height. So, and we know that to be true. If you go in here, in other words, the length of this cannot be longer than the length of this. Otherwise, when this falls, it's going to hit the ground before we want it to. All right, the mass of the arm, I'm going to give it to you. That's going to be 0.2 pounds, 0.02 pounds rather. Make sure you get the decimal in the right spot. Doesn't weigh very much. The inertia, we're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone because it's a uniform arm. Okay, the mass of the weight is going to be 5 pounds. We know that to be true. Our projectile we know is a golf ball, and that's given to us here. We're going to leave our wind speed at 0, and then we're going to hit simulate and see how far it goes. So the current values, again, these are not correct. I don't want you to copy these. I want you to look them up in your CAD drawing and put the right values in. The current setup I have gave me a distance of this. What I want you to do is take a screenshot. Okay, so remember, in order to take a screenshot, you would go into the snipping tool. I don't know if this is going to work while I'm doing a recording. It might work. I'm going to say new. I'm going to take a, cancel that for a second. I want to make sure this is full size and then go back to my snipping tool. And what I want you to do is take a screenshot of all of your data here, this whole thing, and I want you to save that to a folder. So you're going to go to Save As, go to your student folder in the tech drive. So I'm going to go to student folders and go to mine and go to IT. I'm going to create a new folder and call it Final. You're going to put some other stuff in here as well. And you're going to say, you know, test 1 or something for your virtual trebuchet. And you're going to save that image there. All right, just to see what that looks like. I'm going to minimize this for a second. If I go into my folder, in student folders here in dairy, I've got my IT, I've got a final folder. Whoops, why didn't it go there? That snipping tool didn't save. All right, save as, IT, test. Oh, I didn't have the folder selected. There we go. Here we go. Glad I did that. I ended up in the wrong place here. So make sure you actually put it in your final folder. It's going to ask me to replace it now. So when I look in there, there it is. There's a picture of what, and I can see and read what your lengths were, what your release angle was, and that you got a setting. Now, what do you have the ability to change? Well, you really don't have the ability to change much at all, other than your release angle for this, right? We could experiment with adding, making it 10 pounds just for the fun of it. But really what I want you to play around with here is what happens when I change that release angle? Can I get a little bit more distance out of this launch? All right, good luck.